Water is a human right. It's necessary for life.
to 40% of Detroiters live in poverty. The per capita income in the city of Detroit under $20,000. Water department shutoff policy is uncompromising, and it includes homes that include families with infant children, elders, and others that have been shut off. We are an 83% African American city that is being disenfranchised by this water situation. The assistance programs such as WAVE and THAW and other organizations are not at capacity to handle 90,000 to 120,000 citizens in the city of Detroit that are in dire need. Governor Snyder is the first sitting U.S. governor in the history of the United States of America to get a sitting citation from the United Nations. He broke the United States Treaty, which we signed with all the world in July of 2002, that declares water is a basic human right. That's right. The biggest tourist destinations in the city of Detroit, the biggest destinations like Comerica Park, which owes over $60,000. Ford Field owes $55,000. And the city of Detroit golf course that is not even open to the public is $430,000. The VA hospital, which owes $131,000. When are they going to pay their bills? Mike Ilitch, pay your bills. Pay your bills.
Oh, Craig, we're talking about thousands of people and the number growing every day. Here's why. Because the water department is continuing to shut off water to those who have these huge outstanding bills. Again, to be very clear, we're talking about people who owe thousands of dollars, who've ignored the bill for months. Some of these people have a desperate need. They simply cannot afford to pay the bill. They need help from state agencies like you mentioned, DHS. But there are other people, and this is where it gets controversial, who simply don't want to pay the water bill, who'd rather spend money on cable. And that's where this whole debate, comes together, is you've got people who can't afford to do it, others who are ignoring it, and at the end of the day, many believe it's a human rights issue.
What's at stake for some of these folks if the city of Detroit does not do anything? How serious is a potential health hazard in this crisis?
Before I answer that, let me say shame on Hank. Shame on him for putting that lie and that myth and that disinformation out on the air.
Maureen,
to suggest that people don't want to pay for a water bill is scandalous. What is at stake here,
Maureen,
young man?
You don't believe that there are people that don't want to pay the bill?
I'm answering the question. I'm answering the question.
Ahead,
what is at stake here is that there are tens of thousands of low-income families who cannot pay rising water bill costs. The cost of living is going up, the chances of living are going down, and we got these reporters out here like this guy that's standing on the side of people that have money. Yes, there are bills that are being contested, but what we're talking about is 2 months being behind, $150 or more is what you owe, but the same kind of situation and the same kind of threat is not being made to these folks that are rich, golf courses.
You know what, Maureen, I'm glad you brought that
Is it what not of dollars?
Maureen,
It's an outrage what I hear here this morning.
Maureen, I'm glad you did bring that part up, because while residents have been shut off, Joe Louis Arena, where the Detroit Red Wings, where the hockey team plays, they owe a little bit more than $82,000, I understand, in water bills. The Detroit Lions Stadium Ford Field owes more than $55,000. Golf courses, as you just mentioned, owned by the city of Detroit, owe more than $400,000.
They're not being threatened with shut-off.
The state of Michigan,
they're not being
biggest
told
bill,
that your service is going to be cut off.
$5 million for water at State Fairgrounds, as I understand it. Hank, I know you reported